According to the United Nations World Food Program, WFP, one of the most lethal but underreported side effects of the pandemic is the threat of famine, which is now on the horizon for millions of people. Steve Taravella, the senior spokesperson for WFP, said that for many years, the WFP and others working on global hunger were effective in chipping away hunger rates and were bringing hunger down to what they hoped would be the zero hunger goal of the UN. But the last few years, that trend has changed due to conflict, climate, and COVID. COVID is making the poorest and hungriest people in the world poorer and hungrier. Before COVID, there were about 135 million people acutely hungry in the world, and now that has almost doubled to 270 million due to COVID. Last year, the WFP fed about 114 million people, the greatest number during the program's 60-year history. And this year, they expect that number to rise to 120 million. To meet these numbers, the WFP needs help from the wealthiest people in the world, 2,200 people to be exact, who hold $10 trillion alone, all billionaires. Annabelle Symington talked to the hunger crisis in Yemen, a region that is commonly known as the world's worst humanitarian crisis. She said conflict is the main driver of the hunger crisis in this region due to mainly war. Now, because of COVID, the hunger in Yemen has hit a new peak, with numbers worse than ever before. And the impact of malnutrition in Yemenis children will be felt for generations to come. Elio Rujano from WFP, who works in Central America and the Caribbean, said that the climate and COVID are the two main factors of hunger in that region. Due to COVID, hunger has expanded from not only the rural areas, but the urban areas as well. On top of that, the hurricane season in 2020 was the most active in history, devastating the region even more. The hunger crisis in this region jumped from 2.2 million people in 2018 to nearly 8 million people today. Parul Sachdeva, the country advisor in India for Give to Asia, said that in India before COVID, food insecurity was already high due to the large population. India accounted for about 22% of the global burden, the highest for any country between 2017 and 2019. Once the pandemic hit, despite efforts by the government, the lockdown and restrictions doubled hunger in the country. 8 in 10 are eating less than pre-pandemic. Ultimately, to address the hunger crisis, the WFP needs assistance and donations to reach areas and help feed those in need.